Alright, Bonehawks, this video is all about Raiden. In this video, we're going to go over all his combo strings and his special moves and overall game plan and try to work out how exactly to beat this guy, because Raiden is very, very strong in this. Just so you know, I recommend having at least a basic understanding of how frame data works. You can fully understand how this video goes. Let's get into it.
Accept your death.
So before we get started, I will say that Raiden is one of the stronger characters in this game. So not everything he does we have an answer to exactly, but I wanted to make this so that you have as many options as possible going in to fight him to stand the best chance. So let's start with the string that I see the most from Raiden players, which is this one here, which makes sense because it starts combos, so they're going to want to throw it out. Generally speaking, overheads are something you kind of want to upblock. In this situation, it doesn't really give us much. I think because of the 2 hits, we don't even get a punish. So generally what I try and do is if I see them just throwing this string out, after the first hit, you can actually anti-air them. Easy as that. Maybe you get more damage off the character that you play. Again, I'm just showing off with Shane because he's the character that I know. But yeah, you can just poke him out before he even gets a chance to get that second hit out. Combo into oblivion. Make him feel really silly for just throwing that move out. This next one, I don't see too many Raidens using, but every once in a while I will see them throw this one out, the old 1, 2, 3. And like always, we got to pay attention to what move type it is, because the third one is a high, which means we can just release block, duck, and then if we're quick enough, we get a full combo punish. And we know it says punish because it says punish in the corner. Then you just go into whatever combo you want. Now we're getting into some of the tricky stuff here. So this string right in here in particular is safe at -6. However, that does not mean that Raiden still has a turn afterwards. But once he does this, he kind of gives up his turn, and it's up to us to kind of throw something out to take our turn back. So that's very important. Even though we can't straight up punish this, we want to use the negative frames that Raiden has to take our turn back and start creating our own pressure. You use this by either doing a quick mid if you have one, or even something as small as just a little down poke check, just to try and catch him pressing a button, because sometimes Raidens will try and do their own poke after that, and that is definitely not real. So if they're doing that and they're beating out your mids, maybe once you see him throw that attack out, throw a little poke just to check him. If it hits, make sure you go into your pressure. Okay, you don't want to, double poking is never something you want to do, especially in this game, because pokes are extremely negative. So if you hit him once, and then you have all that hit advantage, and then you just instinctively poke again, and he blocks, you've not only lost all that hit advantage that you have, you've also completely lost your turn, and now Raiden's back to doing staggers again. So really try not to get in the habit of just poking twice or mashing pokes. Just do one calculated poke, just take a second to see if it hits or not, and then kind of react accordingly. Now alternatively in this string, Raiden can just straight up end it with the 2 extra hits. This leaves him at -16, and that is definitely a full combo punish for most characters. Oh, I didn't block the last hit. Mammy Raiden. So keep in mind that Raiden doesn't have to do that, but every once in a while I do see Raidens kind of throw that out, especially if you've been checking them with a little poke afterwards. Because if you've been doing that, and then they finish it, you're just going to get hit out of your poke animation. So there's kind of where we have options against Raiden, but he has options against us as well. As I usually like to say, there is no like magic button to just press to win. You know, you do have to play to your opponent, and characters have really good tools, and this is just one of them. We have 2 different ways to counter 2 different scenarios, depending on what Raiden wants to do. If I'm Raiden, I'm going to want to be playing safer and probably not finish that string and just rely more on the metagame afterwards of whether I'm going to poke or not. But every once in a while, it's good to throw that out just to check your opponent. All right, so the forward 4-3. This is a safe -6 on block string. There is a 3rd hit to this one, which is also safe, which is kind of annoying. So here's kind of how this scenario is going to work. Is Raiden's going to hit you with the 3-hit string. If you read that that's coming, you can armor through the 3rd hit. However, if Raiden just decides to stop it at the 2nd hit, and you read that, you've just done your armor right into his face. So this is again where you kind of want to read your opponent. Is your opponent always throwing up that 3rd hit? Are they doing a good job of staggering it? Like I mentioned, Raiden is a really strong character with some really strong options here. Sometimes people will try to do those 2 low attacks into his pity twisters, where he like grabs you and pulls you in the air for the combo launcher. Keep an eye out for that if they're not hit confirming it, because we're getting into special moves now. Let's just start with that one, because yeah, that one's pretty punishable. Yeah, so if Raiden comes at you with the string or something like that, and he doesn't hit confirm it, which means like he sees that it hits and then he does the special move, goes like right into the titty twister, he's like right in your face and minus 16. I missed my punish there. Let's see if I can hit it just to show it off. There we go. Punish into full combo. So yeah, definitely don't let Raiden get away with that. Even if you need to do a quicker punish, you really need to show that Raiden can't just throw a special move like that out, especially one that leads to combos like that, or he will start abusing. So make sure you know what your punish is on it, and that you work on practicing that as often as you can, so you have the best chance of survival. Let's talk about Raiden's lightning orbs next. So he just can do a single one, he can charge it to get multiple ones. By the way, if you're a Raiden player, and you've been playing against like the Sub-Zero armor cameo, just one full charge, one of these will just completely shred that armor. So there's a tip for you. Sorry, I'm helping out Raiden players as well. We're here to learn, okay? So a good counter to this is if Raiden is hard committing to this and he's just charging it fully the whole time. If your character or cameo has some way to get you to the other side of Raiden, he has to commit to this. So once he's already held it, he's going that direction. So if you can end up somehow behind him, you can full combo punish him. Let's see if I can give you an example with Raiden himself here. Yeah, so we're Raiden. We're up against Raiden. We're going to try and hit him with Lightning Orb. He reads us, counters us on the other side because we've already committed. So there's a strategy. Again, Raiden can just kind of let that rip like whenever he wants. So if he sees your teleport, he might try to let it go. So just know what your window is to punish him and where he might not be able to recover. But that would be the best way to try and get around that. Or alternatively, you can test your luck. I said the thing. And just throw your own projectile at him. Just see if you win that trade. Depending on how much health you have, maybe it's worth it. But don't see too many Raidens just doing this move. It's more for the hit advantage you want to do it. Most of them will kind of maybe end a combo with it just to stay plus 21. If they do it on block for whatever reason, it's full combo punishable at minus 16. Just make sure you know you're punished, but I don't really think you'll see too many Raidens just kind of throwing this one out there. You'll razzle dazzle. So the next special move is the Electric Fly, and this one can be a little bit awkward, and this is where you need to use your dash canceling, because there is just a little bit of pushback on this move. Like my regular attack will miss. Some characters, don't get me wrong, if you have really good like forward advancing attacks, you might not need to use this strategy. For Shang Tsung in particular though, I do. Because like I said, it just like barely whiffs. So right after you block the attack, you just do a little dash forward, just forward, and then you press your attack move as soon as you can. So it's like forward, 4 in our case. Then we'll do a dash, and our dash will be cancelled into our string, which will allow for a punish. So this is something that's crucial to practice, and like I said, not every character needs to do this. Perhaps you have a character with a really good fast advancing mid, but if you don't, you need to use this dash cancelling strategy in order to counter the pushback of the Superman fly. This is the first time in recent history that I can remember this move not being absolutely death on block. I mean, it's negative, don't get me wrong, but it is a little bit tricky to punish. So it's interesting that they went that route with this. Now, the electromagnetic static thingy that he does here, enhanced, there's not really much we can do about it, at least nothing that I've discovered so far. It just seems to have way too much pushback. You can cancel it at any time into a mid attack, but the mid attack makes him a little bit more vulnerable at minus 18 as opposed to minus 12. So I'm not really sure what the use of that is yet. Maybe some of you Raiden players can let me know down in the chat. But I don't really see a purpose for the cancel version of that. The regular version of this one though, he just kind of ends up just right in your face at minus 12. I have to do just a very slight dash cancel to get my fast punish off. Or flawless block the last hit of the string, which isn't the easiest thing to do. With the amount of meter that Raiden builds, just meter in general in this game, I don't really see Raiden using the non-enhanced version of this move, but if you do catch them, just make sure that you have your punish ready, because it definitely is punishable. And lastly is his lightning port. So his lightning port is a 42 startup with 41 frames of recovery. So where the punish point is in the recovery. So for 41 frames, when he comes to the other side of you, you can't block. He's stuck there for just a moment. It is quick though. You have to be quick on the punish, But yeah, if you are expecting it, or you can react to him actually doing it and coming up on the other side of him, you can't really change the direction. He can either just choose how fast it is on the startup using a bar meter or not. But as he comes up on the other side, just smack him for a full combo counter. And it will always say counter, it won't say punish, because there's no actual attack. It's just him recovering, so that's countering the recovery frames, no punish necessary. Make sure you don't time it too soon, or your character might do something funky in the wrong direction, and then Raiden's got a full combo punish. But definitely don't let Raiden get away with his teleport. It is combo punishable. See, like that. That's exactly what. See, we look a little silly now, don't we? That time I was late. I got to do this one more time just for principle. Take that, Raiden. Old man shakes fist at sky. So there we go. We've gone through Raiden's entire move list. I've showed you your options. Keep in mind that Raiden can mix and match certain things to keep some things safe. But the important thing is just to keep an eye out for your opponent's patterns. Because again, there's no magic button to beating any character in this game. You just have to play to your opponent. See what your opponent's doing. Say, okay, I know that I can counter this using this, because that's what they're doing. Maybe they're doing the electric fly all the time. Okay, good. I got to punish for that. But knowing your options is the best option. But a good Raiden is still a good Raiden. That being said, I hope you found this video helpful. If tutorials and guides and just information on how to get better at this game is your thing, consider subscribing, because that's what we do here all the time. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because it really helps me out. We make videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks next video.
Accept your death.